season to be more of a contributor in the attacking third. Did have 4 goals, no assists though. He said, look, when you really dug into his season, a lot of sharp actions that look good, but they want to see if he can get more shots up. He's a guy with a lot of potential, former player of the year in the A-Sun when he was in Stetson.
It's tough when you have a playmaker's mentality. You're constantly looking to dish the ball, to pass, and to make that shift to be a more complete, evolved player and be a finisher, be, ruthless around the 18. It's a bit of a mentality shift. Personally, I was a playmaker. I was always looking to pass, to set people up, but you have to be intentional in those moments and be a little bit selfish around the 18.
Well, that style of play by you clearly paid off in the amount of rings that you ended up winning in your career, including the inaugural Super League title last year with Tampa Bay and, of course, 2-time NWSL champion as well.
Forgot to add W League champion when I played in Australia as well.
Excuse me. Yeah, you and Anthony Limbrick, the Australian, were reliving some of those days.
I know. We had a nice chat about my former club in Australia, and it was actually great to talk to. You could tell he was so excited to get going and so eager, and you love to see that from a head coach.
He's got a really good track record across the pond in the UK and in Wales. As Santos takes this away, the longtime veteran sends it down the left flank for Ordonez. Kimi Ordonez working against Idrach. Idrach gets in the way of that try. But wide again, low cross, deflects out, and it's a corner for Loudoun United. At the 10-minute mark of the first half, Pittsburgh conceded a goal at the end of the first half last week against Charleston off of a corner.
Set pieces are so important, and it's just a mentality thing. Who wants it more? You can't lose your runner. And on the other side, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to put the ball in the back of the net?
Andre Super, his first season in Loudoun, the 26-year-old, will take the out-swinging corner. On its way, rainbows into the air. Loudoun have to reset. Awua, errant for Santos, and a throw-in for Pittsburgh. Kwame Awua, 4th season with Loudoun. They brought in Sean Young this season to play in the midfield. First player in Pacific FC in the Canadian Premier League history to be transferred to USL Championship. Awua had won back-to-back Canadian Premier League titles, but lost to Sean Young and Pacific as they went for a 3rd in a row.
It's always good to bring in guys that have experience in different leagues and have won championships in different leagues as well. It just gives the team a little more experience and a little bit more versatility.
There's Ethan Bondre, the 27-year-old Northwestern alum with Tampa Bay Rowdies last year. Now Pittsburgh Riverhounds on the move. Toward the end line, Bassett, his cross, and he earns a corner. Correction. That was Max Vieira.
Griffin just drives a little bit too heavy of a ball, but Vieira's able to get his hips around it and win a corner, but pace of that ball has to slow down a bit so he can really get his hips behind it and do something with it in the 18.
So here's Sam Bassett, the 22-year-old, in his first season with Pittsburgh. Spent last season with Colorado Rapids and Rapids 2. The in-swing corner for Pittsburgh. To the front post, headed away nicely by Loudoun. Hounds recover. Charles All plays it towards the area, deflected away again. Danny Griffin, the 3rd-year captain, is on it. And no Robbie Mertz today for Pittsburgh. Wind playing a bit of a factor early on for both sides. All deflects, top of the 18, played wide. Panayotsu brought down from behind by Griffin. No card, but the foul is given. So some sustained pressure for the first time for Pittsburgh, but they couldn't put anything towards goal.
Pittsburgh were just putting the heat on. You could tell something was about to happen, and then Loudoun was able to get that outlet, and Griffin fouls here, and that's absolutely a foul early on in the game, but it did stop a counterattack, so probably the right move for the captain.
Danny Griffin, 27 years old in his 4th season of his 2nd stint. Today is game number 193 across all competitions for Pittsburgh. Now just one behind Juan Angulo for 3rd most in Riverhounds history.
You can see that experience when he plays. You can tell he has 193 games under his belt. I mean, the way he checks his shoulder, he's always constantly scanning. That's just experience, that's games, that's him understanding space better than most.
Just got to look at Rob Vincent, who took over as interim last season. They went 3-1-4 under his tutelage. You know, we asked him, nearly a handball there. Pittsburgh away with it. We asked Rob, you know, how different are you tactically from Bob Lilly? Bob, of course, well known for his defensive structure, and of course, Pittsburgh wants to stay in that. And he said, look, Bob was a little more direct, wanted more transition moments, wanted more of a second ball type of attack. Rob says, with him at the helm and his chance to mold things, they want to be more patient in the right moments, not take away the threat of being direct, but also understand there will be times to secure the possession in the attacking half and make teams defend for long stretches. And we got a player down for Loudoun here. And that right leg. Well, that's Santos. In his 2nd season, former MLS Cup winner with Columbus Crew. More than 400 appearances as a pro. Hopefully he's all right. He's still down.
Charles All was just dribbling and kind of got a lost pace of the ball. It kind of touch got out from beneath him, and he kind of stretched, and that's what caused the foul. I would definitely say it's a card. Has to be careful this early on in the game, though.
Will be a yellow against All. The yellow brought to you by Continental Cards. And now the concern moves to Santos. We already talked about the injury issues early for Loudoun. No Abakura, no Aiden O'Connor, no Jacob Erlinson, no Ezra Armstrong today. Santos would be a pretty big loss for this group, just that veteran presence out there.
It would be, and staying healthy and being fit is just a big part of the game that most people don't realize is harder than most, but
yeah, so I don't think there was, to your point, Eric, I don't think there was any intent there from All. A competitive challenge, and I think that Santos's leg maybe got caught up in the turf a bit as it folded up under All. Danny Griffin also picked up a yellow. Excuse me. Noah Adnan also picked up a yellow for Loudoun for dissent. And again, that yellow card brought to you by Continental Cards, as Pedro Santos is still tended to. Anthony Limbrick watches on.
A yellow card is issued in the 16th minute for Loudoun United's number 2, Noah Adnan. A Continental Cards yellow
James
card
Murphy,
is also been issued in the
6th USL Championship team.
Number 10, Charles All.
Santos is up onto his feet as he's helped by the training staff here in Loudoun. Santos can't really put all that much weight on that right leg, but it is a great sign that he's able to walk off under his own power.
absolutely great sign that he's walking off. See if they make a change for him, or if he's able to kind of shake it off and try and get back out there, but it does not look like it.
So they will, in fact, make a substitution. Luca Piras will come in. The Italian, 21 years old, second season with Loudoun United, signed last August. The substitution presented by Segra, and certainly not the timing in the match where Anthony Limbrick was hoping to make his first change. Piras, a product of the Juventus and Parma youth systems in Italy. Pittsburgh will put it back into play. There's some of that pressure from Loudoun. Nearly forced to give away. And now Murphy steps up. Shot deflected, comes out in front. Olfarsson! A fortuitous bounce has Thor and Loudoun United on top of the defending champs.
And that is the aggression that we're talking about from Olfarsson. They win it and they just drive towards goal, gets a shot off, deflects, and they try and clear it out, and Olfarsson's right there, reads it perfectly, and just powers through and gets that goal. That is a hard-earned goal. It might not be pretty, but it puts him on the score sheet, and it tells a lot about the type of player that he is and what he's going to bring to this club.
So how about two first-year players, Salvatore Mazzaferro, putting it towards goal, Vactor with a deflected clearance, and Olfarsson in the right place at the right time, and he picks up his first in USL Championship.
That's the high tempo, fast pace, high press that Loudoun United want to see, and they did that. Pittsburgh tried to play out of the back, and they picked him off and they capitalized on it.
Just the 13th goal that Loudoun have scored against Pittsburgh all time, and now the 18th meeting. Now, how do the defending champions respond to this adversity on the road? This is a spot where they have really struggled in. They've lost their last 25, I shouldn't say lost, they are winless in their last 25 matches in USL Championship when conceding first. You got to go all the way back at the end of July of the 2023 season for the last time Pittsburgh conceded first and came all the way back to win and earn all 3 points. What do you make of the first 20 minutes for Pittsburgh, Erica? We talked with Rob Vincent about how he was unhappy with his team's start last week at Charleston. It seemed okay, and then they turn it over, poor clearance, ends up in the back of their net.
I think their midfielders are looking to get on the ball more, but they have to be cleaner. I mean, that giveaway in the midfield is what led to that goal. Loudoun United side are coming out high tempo, high press, fast pace. They're aggressive. They're getting numbers around the ball, and they're dominating. I think they have the momentum right now, and they're up on the score sheet. But I think the actual rhythm of the game is in their favor.
Over the top. Comes down for Griffin. Akinyode watching him. That's off of Bassett. Pops up into the air, sent towards goal by Vieira. And the rolling shot is stopped by Bondre. First shot attempt on goal for Pittsburgh comes in the 23rd minute.
It's a good response from Pittsburgh, especially after going down a goal. They just get it in the box, and Loudoun does a poor time trying to clear, and Vieira just gets on the end of that. It's not hit with enough pace to actually make anything of it, but they respond well with the shot on goal.
Vieira making his first start this week. Came off the bench last week. Former Georgetown standout.
He shows a lot of promise for this Pittsburgh side. He likes to get in good positions, and he did add a spark off the bench.
Well, came in the direction of Dikwa, but Akanyode able to get rid of it. Akanyode, 31 years old, the Nigerian, is playing for his 9th USL Championship team. Did play a handful of games to finish out 2025 with Loudoun after Miami let him go. And today, he's playing in career match number 273. Sample flicks it forward, cleared away by Mazzaferro. We asked Anthony Limbrick, when you look at who's out today for Loudoun on that back line, O'Connor, Erlinson, Armstrong, a lot of young guys are back there. Mazzaferro, Adnan. And he said, look, we've got Kwame Awua, we've got Bolu Akanyode, as Pittsburgh is going to be given a chance from the spot. Matthew Corrigan, an emphatic point, and just moments after Pittsburgh conceded the game's first goal, the Hounds will have a chance to equalize from the spot. It's Perrin Barnes on Mazzaferro. What do you think, Erica?
I think that's a soft call, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure if that's a pen, but Dikwa's going to step up and gives them a little momentum going forward.
Pittsburgh had just 3 attempts from the spot in 2025, and Albert Dikwa steps forward to try and equalize this match against Ethan Bondre. Thor Ulfarsson put Loudoun United ahead in the 20th minute, and now Dikwa, in his first season back with the Hounds, scores once again for Pittsburgh. A sight for sore eyes for Riverhounds fans. The 2023 Golden Boot winner, after a couple of seasons away, comes back and equalizes for the Hounds from the spot.
Calm, cool, collective. You can tell Albert Dikwa has done this 100 times. He steps up with confidence and puts that away. Just passes it in. Knows exactly where he's going.
Andre trying to guess correctly. Oh, it's how we did it. Eric, I don't know if you noticed this, but the 2 players we highlighted in the Open today, they've scored both goals. Talking about how Dikwa last week in Charleston was creating havoc out in front, led to the own goal off of Messer for Charleston. And now today, he's the one who's given the chance from the spot. He converts. And it's a brand new game once again. I love it when it works out that way.
It's almost like we did our homework.
Yeah, sometimes. Don't forget, as we showed you in the Open, Pittsburgh has never lost to Loudoun United when Albert Dikwa finds the back of the net.
I think that just speaks to the type of player he is. When he's on, the rest of the team's on around him.
Maybe that foul led to the PK has woken Pittsburgh up as all chests it down. Griffin, the captain, for Vieira. Aaron pass, and Panayotu. Over the top looking for Thor, but that was well out of Ulfarsson's reach. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Griffin.
Pittsburgh gaining a little bit of momentum and confidence on the ball, just playing it around, making them run horizontally and vertically. They're definitely changed since that last goal, and you see that side of them now that's a little more aggressive, a little more front-footing, wanting to go forward, wanting to have purpose to their possession.
Bassett wide for Barnes, who drew the penalty. Put into the area. Akinyode got a piece of it as Sample might have just mistimed his jump. That one just eluded him. Akinyode has been around. He's seen some things in this league. Known as a ball-winning center back, and he did just that. Whipped into the area one more time. Piras got a piece, headed back towards Bondre, and then Dikwa has a go off of him into the first row, and it'll be a goal kick. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish-language sports network. Lexington SC take on newcomer Brooklyn FC on Wednesday, March 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Lexington with a big match later on today against Sacramento. We're getting thrown into the fire. Mac Hemme in his first season as the head coach for Lexington. Spent a ton to replenish that roster. Last week opened up with Louisville. This week they have Sacramento, a Western Conference favorite. Dikwa for Barnes. Edrach steps up. He lost it. And Loudoun away with possession. I mentioned Beto Edrach. He converted the title-clinching PK in the shootout against Tulsa last season. We mentioned, Erica, how Pittsburgh became the first team in USL history to go through the entire postseason without conceding a goal. They only scored one, two.
I think that speaks to a structured, disciplined, defensive-first style of play. Sometimes you lose that attacking ability to score multiple goals, to create a lot of chances, because you're so focused on being structured and disciplined. When you have that type of infrastructure, it's hard to have a lot of versatility and fluidity among the attacking players. So I'm not surprised hearing that stat.
You know, as Pittsburgh tries to reinvigorate their attack this season, obviously more known for their defensive prowess, as we've talked about quite a bit so far in this first half. As a former player, if you're on a team that is so well structured defensively and now you're trying to add a little more potent attack, is that easier or more difficult than the opposite? Where if you're a team that's a bit leaky, as Dikwa gets position, Mazzaferro right there. Dikwa wanted another foul, not going to get it. That's a throw in here for Pittsburgh. What's more difficult, going from a team that's trying to figure out their side defensively, or a team that's so structured defensively trying to figure out their attack?
I think it's easier going from a disciplined defensive side and then kind of giving your players a little more freedom from there. I think having that identity where you can fall back on hard defense, aggression, being disciplined, I think that's a good pillar to build on. And then, you know, now giving your players that encouraging freedom to get on the ball more, take more risks, you know, threaten the line, play through the lines more. So I think it definitely can be done for Pittsburgh. It might be a slow burn. It might be a process where you're not going to just all of a sudden be able to play possession type football when you're used to being a little more vertical. But if you can instill that in training and slowly evolve, it definitely is doable.
Without Robbie Mertz in the starting 11 for the second consecutive week. With the addition of Dikwa, Trevor Amon from Tulsa, there is some attacking ability that Pittsburgh put together this year.
Absolutely, they have the pieces, they have the personnel and the players. It's just about putting it together and having it happen organically instead of forced.
Bassett. Out for a goal kick.
I think that's a moment you can be a little more patient. If it's not on, hitting a ball to the back post with no one there, no runners, I just think that that's the time where Pittsburgh can swing it a little more, make Loudoun chase, make them run horizontally, and then kind of wait for those gaps to open up a little more.
Andre sends it away. Campuzano, who had the USL Championship save of the week. Big shoes to fill, big gloves to fill in goal. Get to that in a moment. Is all has space, cuts to his right. Super rides him down. Matthew Corrigan says play on. Campuzano coming over from Monterey Bay, where he led the league in saves last season, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. Rob Vincent said he's a great shot stopper, but Monterey Bay, that just means he saw a lot of action in front of him.
Coach Rob Vincent also noted that consistency will be key for him and that he is a good distributor. He has good feet and he has good decision making out of the back. It's just he has to have time to grow into the game, grow into a new team and league, and you know, consistency is everything. He said last year's keeper, Eric Dick, struggled with consistency and at first so well, and look how he turned out. So I think you just have to give them a little bit of time.
Yeah, all Eric Dick did was win the MVP of the final and lead the league in clean sheets. No pressure on Nico Campuzano this year.
Even though he didn't get that clean sheet his first game, I do think he had some pretty big time saves, and he did have a good presence coming out of the back, which I think is, you know, important for a keeper demanding the 18-yard box.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that Rob Vincent told us was, you know, he needs that consistency. And when Eric went through those stretches, he still came up with the big saves when we needed them. Nico's a good shot stopper, a bit better on the ball, and they trust him to play it back to him if they have to.
If they're looking to add a little more possession to their style of play, I think that's a great fit for them. Having a keeper who's good on the ball, good with their feet, it gives them that confidence to build out if they want to.
All working with Wachter, and Murphy puts that over the 8-touch line for a throw into Pittsburgh. Thor Ulfarsson in his Loudoun debut scored in the 20th minute. Albert Dikwa, his first in 2026 as a Riverhound, in the 26th from the spot. Vieira, wide for Barnes. Now Idrach. Settled down by Charles All. Whipped in low, Akanyote clears. Panayotu against Bassett. Those two battled at MLS Next Pro. Pittsburgh already 3 shots, 2 on target in the first 38 minutes of this match. They had just 5 shot attempts last week against Charleston. That was a USL Championship low for match week 1.
It's definitely better for them this half, and I actually think since the goal they've picked up the tempo
it's like
a little
a new
bit.
team.
Yeah, and they've been trying to go through the middle and then go out wide to serve it in. And I would like to see a little more versatility from them. Play through the middle, maybe find some slip balls, maybe recycle a little bit. and find those slip passes. Charles always capable of making those. Vieira's capable of making them. They both can play that inverted role where they get on it, turn in the pocket, and drive. I'd like to see a little more movement from Dikwa. I know he's focused on being around the box and kind of staying in that area, but you know, good movement from your 9 is key to unlocking a back line like this.
Dikwa catches up to it. Awua watching him. Barnes for Bassett. He's dispossessed. And now a long ball and a race for it, but look how aggressive Campuzano is, way out of goal. Able to play it for Vieira.
That's great positioning by Campuzano. Not only that did he step up and clear it, but he was able to keep possession for his team, and then now they can build. And that's the type of service we're talking about, the distribution, the decision-making that he has.
Wachter, whose poor clearance led to the Thor Ulfarsson goal for Loudoun in the 20th minute.
When you have a 9 like Ulfarsson, you have to be careful. You have to be tidy coming out of the back. If there's a question about if this is going to pick off, you don't play it. You go direct. We know that Pittsburgh can play direct, so I think for them it's going to be big on picking and choosing the moments when to build and when to play vertical.
All as Murphy stepped up, nearly forced the giveaway. Ulfarsson wanted a whistle, didn't get it. Matthew Corrigan says play on once again. Both teams have each been lobbying for whistles that they haven't gotten with our referee Matthew Corrigan. Possession in this first half, 73-27 in favor of Pittsburgh.
Well, Coach Vincent said that they wanted to play more possession, add that to their game. They're certainly doing that. Now the finishing pieces, can they get a result while still playing that possession football?
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Mazzaferro, part of the Austin FC2 side that won the MLS Next Pro title a couple of seasons ago. Last season was with Atlanta United 2. Did make his debut in MLS for Atlanta United, the first team in the Leagues Cup last year. There's a lot of young potential on this back line between Mazzaferro and Adnan. When you mix together with Akanyode, Awua, and then when Erlinson, O'Connor, and Armstrong come back, this Loudoun United side has some real potential on paper to make even more noise than they did last year.
Coach Lindbergh also is huge on process and building and developing players, so it doesn't surprise me that they have a ton of young talent that has a ton of potential in this league and for this team, and if development is one of their priorities, then they have the squad to do that.
How can Loudoun kind of turn the tables back in their favor after the strong first 10 minutes they had?
I think they need to come out with that same intensity. They came out so aggressive and sharp and were picking off balls left and right.
This could be another chance developing. Piras. Remember, they lost Pedro Santos to an injury in the early going. And really since then, that's when that flip switched. Cross never got where it was intended to, and Adnan has to chase it down.
In moments like this, though, when you kind of lose that momentum, it's not a bad idea to just put your foot on the ball and regain possession for your team, connect passes, go back to the basics, and kind of build that confidence.
This is out for a goal kick. Ulfarsson had some trouble with that.
Be sure to visit the Food Truck Plaza near the main entrance, featuring King of Pops, Bite and Go, lavish ice cream.
The possession percentage tells a lot of the story, but when you dig even deeper in this first half, passes in the opposition half, 125-24 in favor of Pittsburgh. Passes in the final third, 72-13 in favor of Pittsburgh in this first half. That's a pretty big discrepancy.
It is, but the score is 1-1, so you can have stats all day in your favor, but if you can't put it in the back of the net, then they don't really mean anything.
And it takes one moment for those stats not to matter, and that's a good point that you bring up, because Rob Vincent alluded to that in our conversation with him. He says, look, we don't want to be a team that just possesses the ball and does nothing with it. Possessing the ball is great, but if you don't turn that into chances, into scoring, then what's even the point?
Exactly. He has the right mentality, though. Like, possessing for the sake of possession gets you nowhere. He said they want to create chances off that, and they want to regain possession when they lose it, so that if they're possessing in the final third and they lose it, they regain possession there and now are going at goal. So I think just having those principles in mind will be big for them.
6 minutes. Stoppage time is brought to you by Novec. We'll have 3 minutes of added time in this 1-1 first half. Goals by Thor Ulfarsson in his Loudoun United debut in the 20th minute. And Albert Dikwa has his first goal in his return to Pittsburgh. He was in the area of an own goal last week, and today he scored from the penalty spot.
Coach Vincent, as we talked about before, said that they want to simplify his game and just get him in those areas where he can score and less about dropping down, trying to play make. And I think he's off to a good start with that.
Augie Williams led this team in scoring last year, but they really couldn't ever figure out how to get him to truly fit into Bob Lilly's system. They really missed Dikwa, and obviously they jumped at the chance to bring him back after 2 seasons in Rhode Island. In fact, they defeated Rhode Island 1-0 in the Eastern Conference Final last year as all went down. He's slow to get up. Dikwa to the outside for Barnes. Idrash plays it towards goal. Nobody home in gold. Wachter for All on the turn. Piras watching him. All for the captain Griffin. They trade. Cagnone stepped up on Dikwa. Good work there, and a long ball for Ulfarsson, but again, Campuzano excellent and aggressive off his line to thwart that chance. But now Panayotou, watched by Vieira, along the touchline. Panayotou trying to go 1-on-3, gets it to Ulfarsson, who has the goal. He takes a spill, that's a foul. And a free kick coming just before the end of the half, likely the last kick of the first half coming. Excellent effort by Panayotou.
That's such good play from Panayotou. I mean, there's 3 defenders on him. The ball's kind of glued to his feet. He's able to squeak out of it, and then Ulfarsson's there to take it in a different direction, and he just buys the foul right there. His back's to goal. He knows he's not going to be able to do much with this, so he just goes down easy and gives them a really good chance before half.
Ulfarsson scored the goal off a bad clearance by Wachter in the 20th minute. And now a free kick from right near the goal line for Panayotou. Ulfarsson trying to use that size, 6'1". The delivery comes down, cleared away. That would have been back-breaking for Pittsburgh. Nearly an identical situation to last week at the end of the first half when the former Hound Sean Suber headed one in off a corner.
Well, they've certainly learned from their mistake. I mean, Panayotou puts a good ball in, and when you have a bigger presence in there, like your 9, who can get on the end of that, you have to be double downing on that. But they were able to clear that, and
now there is the whistle for halftime by Matthew Corrigan. 1-1 at the half. Albert Dikwa, the scoring for Pittsburgh. Thor Ulfarsson, the goal for Loudoun United.
Loudoun United came out super high tempo. They came out on the front foot. They were able to get that first goal, but ever since that goal, it seems that Pittsburgh kind of changed their mentality, and we saw a little bit about how they want to play. They started attacking more, they started possessing more in the final third, were able to get another goal, and then the momentum kind of split from there.
Loudoun United hoping to make their home opener and season opener a memorable one for their home fans. And Anthony Limbrick's debut as head coach. Ulfarsson in his Loudoun debut got Loudoun on the board. And then it was Dikwa for Pittsburgh from the spot. It is 1-1 at the half.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
Pittsburgh and Loudoun knotted up at 1 at the half. And while Loudoun United opened up their 2026 season today, 7 expansion clubs, 5 in League One, 2 in Championship, opened up for the first time here in 2026.
As we embark on another long journey to USL titles in the Championship and League One, contenders are now joined by even more contenders. 2026 opens the door to 7 new clubs, 2 in the Championship, 5 in League One. Sporting Jacks and Brooklyn FC joined the Eastern Conference in the Championship, increasing the league total to 25 clubs. And another record for League One, with AC Boise, Corpus Christi FC, Fort Wayne FC, New York Cosmos and Sarasota Paradise matching the expansion record of 5 teams just last year. It makes an interesting challenge for all League One teams with playoff expectations, beginning with defending champion One Knoxville. And head coach Ian Fuller loves the challenge.
What is different this year about preparations for expansion clubs, which means more travel, more talent coming into the league?
Yeah, you have to be ready for anything in this league. Yeah. Almost every league in North America is like this. You're going to have expansion teams, a lot of different players. We've got a lot of new players, and we're going to face a lot of new players in the league, and some new clubs and some new venues. It's kind of just the trickiness of this league.
Do teams coming in just because they're new doesn't mean they're at a disadvantage against, well-oiled teams like yours?
No, certainly you've got coaches that have coached in the league and done really, really well come in and with expansion teams. So, you've got a lot of players that have played in the league and played in higher leagues. You're going to have some really difficult opponents, even though they are expansion teams.
Last season, FC Naples finished 4th in the League One standings, one of 2 expansion teams to make the postseason. A tough task for new clubs this year as League One grows to 17 clubs.
Oh, what a strike!
Exciting times in USL League One and USL Championship. In for an exciting second half to come in Leesburg. We're tied at 1.
Match day 1 is the season opener of the USL Championship.
No time like the present for these teams to take a statement and begin the campaign on the right foot.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novak. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novak also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novak is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novak.com/save.
Welcome back to Segra Field in Leesburg, the 2026 opener for Loudoun United. Welcoming in the defending champs, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, tied at 1. Josh Appel, 2-time NWSL champion Erica Timrock with you. Busy weekend around USL Championship. Brooklyn FC plays their first ever road match today. That's about to get underway against Detroit City. Sporting Club Jacksonville, another expansion side. They're just underway with Rhode Island. Big one tonight on CBS Sports. Golazo, Lexington SC, Sacramento Republic. 2 Western Conference favorites going at it at 7 o'clock. Lou City, who took down Lexington. They're in action against Miami FC right now. And then switchbacks at Las Vegas Lights in about an hour. Western Conference champion defending FC Tulsa, Luke Spencer. They take on San Antonio tonight at 8 o'clock. Monterey Bay, El Paso tonight at 10. And Oakland Roots, big one against New Mexico United. Oakland's home opener. Ryan Martin, former Atlanta United coach. They go at it 10 p.m. Phoenix Rising, Orange County, also at 10 p.m. tonight. Phoenix's home opener. Let's take a look now at our halftime update around USL Championship. Back with more here in Leesburg after this. How much time is 6 minutes?
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines for this week. On opening night, Louisville City rallied to defeat I-64 rival Lexington SC 2-1, extending its winning streak in season opening matches to 7. A streak that began in 2020 continues. A pair of first-year clubs collected victories in their inaugural matches. JC Obregon converted a penalty kick to lead Brooklyn FC to a 1-0 victory over Indy 11. And in League One, AC Boise went on the road to defeat Sarasota Paradise 1-0 in the inaugural match for both clubs. Let's dive into a milestone for Sacramento Republic goalkeeper Danny Vitiello, who recorded his 59th career shutout last week, a USL Championship record, 150 career appearances, with just under 40% of those games, no goals allowed. About that. We have a pair of matches coming up that will be broadcast in Spanish on 2DN. Wednesday the 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern, Lexington SC hosts Brooklyn FC. Then on Saturday the 28th, 4 p.m. Eastern start between Detroit City and Charleston Battle. That's a look at the headlines for this week. Let's get you back to your match for the second half.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novak. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novak also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novak is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novak.com/save.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novak. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novak also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novak is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novak.com/save.
Welcome back to Segra Field. Even the young ones enjoying the first half. 1-1 our score. The defending champions Pittsburgh and Loudoun United. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. It was Loudoun United who got the party started in their home opener in the 20th minute. A lot of newcomers in this group, and it was Thor Ulfarsson, former top 5 pick of Houston Dynamo, getting on the scoreboard first.
Murphy just drives at that back line and gets a deflection, and Campuzano's just off position from there, and then Ulferson just reads that perfectly and is able to snag that and get that on the score sheet, and I think that's the aggression that they're talking about.
Didn't take long for Pittsburgh to even things up, almost like it was a wake-up call. Controversial call here for the penalty in the area, actually a little bit later on, as Vieira had the first real chance.
Vieira picks us up top of the box. It's the right idea. He just does not hit it with enough pace.
So here is the moment for Pittsburgh. The foul on Mazzaferro in the penalty area. Controversial ruling for Matthew Corrigan. It was Albert Dikwa who stepped to the spot and scored his first goal in his return to Pittsburgh.
He steps up and just puts that away and gives them the momentum to really play how they want to.
So that was the only scoring in the first half, in one that was controlled by Pittsburgh as the game wore on. We'll see what adjustments Anthony Limbrick and Loudoun United make. See if Rob Vincent changes anything up. Campuzano, you saw on the Ulfarsson goal, he had thought the ball was going in one direction, slipped on the turf, and that caused him to be unable to recover on the Ulfarsson goal after Vachter's clearance was blocked by Thor. What adjustments do you think Loudoun United have to make here in the second half?
I think they need to shut down when Pittsburgh starts playing on the ball. You saw Pittsburgh gain momentum as time went on, and they're able to get a little bit more of a rhythm, and the more rhythm they got, the more confidence they got. I think Loudoun needs to shut that down. They need to be aggressive. They need to foul a little more, I think. They need to be a little more nastier, and I think they need to get that momentum back because they came out with it, came out of the gate so hot, and I think it shows what they're capable of.
See how they respond in this second half. Aua in his own end. This would be a huge bounce back for Pittsburgh. Another tough away opponent to open their season. They fell to Charleston Battery last week 2-1. Trying to put a stop to a 25-match winless drought when conceding first. They fell behind 1-0 today. If they complete the comeback and earn all 3 points, it would be the first time they've done so since late July of 2023. Now, on the flip side, that's something that Loudoun United was excellent at last year, one of the top teams in USL Championship in points gained from losing positions. Had them on their way to a record-setting season for the club, first ever playoff appearance. They're really excited about what they've built. Alan Marcena and Anthony Limbrick. There's Wachter, who had a difficult moment in the first half that led to the Loudoun goal, but he's a guy in his second season who became a stalwart on this back line for Pittsburgh last season. As the Hounds have an early corner in the second half, Sam Bassett, the 22-year-old, will take it. The in-swinger towards the near post. The header ping-pongs in. Bradley Sample, the last to get a piece of it. Bondre in a state of shock as he watched that one get by. And Pittsburgh, in the opening minutes of the second half, have grabbed the lead on the road. So it went off of a Loudoun player, then off of Dikwa, and then off the head of Sample, who had the positioning on Akinyode.
Sample was just in the right place at the right time on that one, and Albert Dikwa had good positioning himself. He was kind of in that 6-yard box area. It was a good ball in, it was an in-swinger, and he's able to redirect that, and then Sample was just right there and able to finish, and that's such a good start for Pittsburgh.
So Dikwa has factored in on both of Pittsburgh's goals. Now a goal and an assist. Bradley Sample with his third career goal, scored just one last season. He's another guy that eventually earned a consistent starting spot last season. Jackson Walty held down that midfield role for a while for Bob Lilly and then Rob Vincent, and the Walty picked up a knock, and Sample took advantage of the opportunity and never gave it up.
Absolutely, that's such a good process from a player like that. You stay ready, you stay focused, and when you get your chance, you have to take it.
Dikwa thought about pulling the trigger, was unable to. Now All. Bassett. Olfarsson comes in for the challenge, wins it. Bassett stays with it, but now Kimi Ordonez. First season with Loudoun on loan from FC Cincinnati. Super. Now Mazzaferro. Aua. Thor to the outside for Ordonez. Barnes watching him. Aua to his right. That's Mazzaferro. Loudoun playing from behind for the first time. Took a 1-0 lead in the 20th minute, and then Pittsburgh grabbed control of this match, and now they have the lead. Mazzaferro. Aua. Super. Barnes watching Aua. They have just been turned back every time they've tried that side in this sequence. Now they have to reset, Loudoun does. That ball hung up in the air forever and allowed Barnes to take away. And he gets it back on that right wing. Griffin, the captain. Directing traffic. Bassett got closed down on by about 4 black shirts, but somehow Wachter gets it back for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh doing so well, just being able to swing it, being patient, really trying to unlock this Loudoun back line, and you can see sometimes they're a little too impatient in the first half, but they seem to find their footing and really establish a rhythm in the attacking third.
Kimi Ordonez with space, trying to even things for Loudoun. Kimi Ordonez, his shot blocked. Souza got in the way. We talked earlier about Campuzano having big gloves to fill. Victor Souza, his first season, coming over from MLS Next Pro and New England Revolution 2. He's got to replace Sean Suber on that back line. Suber, who of course scored last week for Charleston Battery against the Hounds.
Souza's absolutely capable, though. He's a defense-first type player. He has a big presence, and he's really good at screening space, so I have no doubt that he can fill those shoes.
Barnes.
Coach Vincent mentioned that he wants his fullbacks or his wingbacks to have more freedom in the attacking third, and I think we've seen that from Barnes today. He's been able to get forward more, join the attack. He caused a penalty, so I think that's a promising game for him, that he's able to get in the attack and help contribute.
All went down, wanted to go for the quick restart, but Matthew Corrigan calls him back. You know, one of the other guys that they're trying to replace is Luke Biasi. Biasi departed for Phoenix, and he was a big driver on the wings last year for this Pittsburgh side. Farson, who has the goal. Came in the 20th minute. 6 minutes later, Dikwa scored from the penalty spot. To open the second half, it was Bradley Sample on an assist from Dikwa. Barnes leaves it back for Charles All. Surveying his options. Trades with Edrach. Bassett. Wide for Vieira. Now Wachter. Edrach tried to make that. Sample tried to feed that to Vieira, making a run. It's Wachter again. Now Bassett. Farson wins it for Kimi Ordonez. Lead ball for Aua. Too easy there for Edrach. It does slow Loudoun United down, forces the throw-in. Super.
Pittsburgh has to be careful in these moments, though, in these transition moments. They got a lot of their guys up the field, and when they have a turnover like that, it's an easy transition, especially for a side like Loudoun, who's trying to be on the front foot. And with a 9 like they have to be careful and have the correct countermeasures to outbalance that.
Given away by Pittsburgh, and then a challenge there, no foul, play rolls on. Murphy, the one who went down. Now a foul here on Loudoun United. You know, I'm trying to think back, Erica, to that first half. Obviously, Thor Ulfarsson's goal came on a play where he applied some good pressure on a clearance attempt from Guillaume Wachter, and his deflection got by Campuzano. I'm trying to rack my brain for any other real quality chances that Loudoun United have put together in this match, and I'm having a hard time coming up with any.
Yeah, I can't really think of any either, and I think, you know, part of their identity is being aggressive, capitalizing off the press, and that might be one of the main ways they score, but they have to have some type of versatility in creating, and I haven't really seen anybody step up and do a lot of creating, you know, on the ball.
I mean, if you look at their expected goals in this game, just .28, just one shot on target, and it's the one from Ulfarsson that went in. This be the moment for Loudoun. Ulfarsson with Wachter watching him. Wachter stepped right in front and took it away from Ulfarsson. And then Ulfarsson commits the foul. That one might just have been out of frustration.
Frustration foul. He also doesn't need a foul there. They had him, their back-facing goal. He had him, you know, pressured back there, and if, you know, the Loudoun defense or Loudoun offense can step up, they can catch him back there. I mean, it's definitely a frustration foul, but they had him locked back here. If they could just keep him in that area, they could have regained possession and you know, been in the attacking third.
Free kick coming for Pittsburgh. Sam Bassett, who debuted for Pitt last week, stands over it. Pass it on the turn with Murphy running with it. Closing in on 1 hour old in this match. Pittsburgh has come from behind to make this a 2-1 game in their favor for the defending champions. Trying to end a 25-match winless streak when they go down first in a match.
It's positive for them because not only are they up 2-1 right now, but they have been playing some really good spells of possession and some really good, bouts of soccer in this second half especially. They've controlled the tempo. They've been able to keep it in their half and the other half, and I just think this is the Pittsburgh side that Coach Vincent really wants them to be.
Try to go long here, but it just lands on one hop to Ethan Bondre. Want to be a team that makes others chase them, not the other way around.
Exactly, and there's plenty of ways to chase. You can chase vertically and be a direct team and make the other team chase in transition, and then you can also make them chase horizontally and be more possession and recycle it and go from, wing to wing and make them chase that way. Personally, I hate that chasing the most.
Obviously exerts the most energy possible. Possession 68-32 favoring Pittsburgh, and that matches the eye test.
It does, and Loudoun just seem a little flat. They seem a little passive right now. They're down a goal, and they just don't seem to be applying that pressure that needs to be.
And don't forget, some of the guys they're missing are key pieces to what Alan Marcina and Anthony Limbrick have put together this season for Loudoun. And I'll mention the names again. Abdelatif Albacora, probably the biggest name, USL Young Player of the Year last season. He's out today. Should be back relatively soon, next week, if not the week after. Aidan O'Connor still working his way back, as is Jacob Erlinson and Ezra Armstrong. And they also lost Pedro Santos in the midfield earlier today as well.
Yeah, that's tough, and I actually do think that they're really missing Abdelatif today because I feel like they're not really creating much. They don't have that person in there who can get on the ball and drop into those pockets, and Abdelatif is so good at that, so you can definitely tell they're missing that piece of the puzzle.
It'll be exciting to see how Anthony Limbrick deploys Abdelatif Albacora and Thor Ulfarsson both at the same time, how they play off each other. As Loudoun United gets ready to make a change in just a few moments. Pittsburgh still dominating control. Perrin Barnes drew the penalty that led to the first Pittsburgh goal. Going one-on-one with Awuwa. Both those guys kind of lost control of themselves, but Awuwa is the one who wins the battle. The cross, Dikwa off the post. Nearly had a brace.
Charles, all so crafty, just whips us in, and Dikwa's in the perfect spot and tries to redirect it to the corner, but Bondre does a really good job just reading that and able to get it out.
Anthony Limbrick making a couple of substitutions, brought to you by Segra. Richie Amon comes on for Jack Panayotu. And Andre Super heads off in favor of Sean Young. Two guys that Loudoun United very excited about. Young, the 24-year-old Canadian, first season in USL Championship. Became the first player to reach 100 appearances for Pacific FC in the Canadian Premier League. He's the all-time leader in appearances. And then Richie Amon, who's down here on loan from DC United. Top 10 pick in this past MLS Super Draft. So they've got a couple of top 10 picks now out there, Loudoun United does. And Thor Ulfarsson as Dikwa denied by Bondre. Couple of close calls for Loudoun United as they try and battle their way back here at home. Bondre keeping them in it.
Dikwa just always seems to be in that right spot at the right time. He just reads us so well. He's able to slip in there and try and get it past Bondre, but props to Bondre for making that save. But Dikwa is just breathing down their neck, being that 9 that you hate playing against.
There are 2 Pittsburgh players down now, Dikwa and Wachter. Matthew Corrigan does call Loudoun for a foul, and it'll be a free kick opportunity for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they just get tangled up right there, and this will be a good chance for Pittsburgh.
Attention fans, last call for beer. Be sure to grab your final drink before sales end.
Bassett stands over it. Charles All in the area as well. Here it comes. Deflects off the wall into the seats. It's a corner for the Hounds. Scored off of a corner to take the lead in the 48th minute. Pinballed around off a Loudoun player, off of Dikwa, and then off of Sample and in. Do they have some of the same magic here to give them some breathing room? Bassett curls it. Bondre bobbled it and then falls on it. Awua had some trouble. Finds Amon. Long ball. Mazzaferro gets there first. Sample on it for Pittsburgh. Nudges it along for All. Into the corner. Adnan was watching on. Bassett, nifty. Towards goal. A short hop. Bondre collects it on the shot by Pittsburgh and Danny Griffin.
It seems that Pittsburgh is winning second balls, which is so important in this transition play sometimes. Whoever can get to that second ball, you're able to regain possession and kind of control that tempo. And I've seen they've been really good at this second half, and I think that's what's setting them apart is those little things, collecting second balls, being first to tackles, winning 50-50s.
Well, they've shown that they have the resolve of a champion after going down 1-0 on the road. Now Bassett for All. Back for Bassett. Squeaks through. Bassett! Insurance for the Hounds. Bassett has his first for Pittsburgh. And it's 3-1 to the defending champs.
This is so good, and you have Charles All just dribbling, driving, scanning where he wants it, and Bassett finds himself in the middle of all these defenders. He's able to just use a little fancy feet, poke past the back line, and then he just picks his head up and sees a window and he takes his shot. But that's so good from Bassett, so good from All. That combination to play through the middle, unlocking that defense, it's big time from Bassett.
Riverhounds goal scored in the 69th minute by number 19, Sam Bassett.
Charles All, who went the entire season last year without an assist, has a helper in Game 2 of 2026. And how about this? Sam Bassett scores, and he's subbed off. His last contribution to the match in the 69th minute is his first goal in a Hounds uniform, and he gives way to Jackson Walty.
That must feel good going off after 3-1 up, scoring a goal, playing a big part on that second goal, serving that ball in. It's still early in the season, so they're probably managing minutes for him, but he can be very proud of that performance tonight.
Going out on top now, how do Loudoun United respond? Oh my, it's a game once again! Sean Young, his first with Loudoun United, gets the crowd back into it, and a little over a minute later, Loudoun United back down a goal.
What a way to respond. Loudoun just driving at this back line. Sean Young sets his touch up so well. He gets it at top of the 18, such a good spot. His momentum's going one way, and then he just pokes it the other way, finds that window, curves it into the back post. That's such a good response from him. Puts him back on the sheet. 3-2, anybody's game now.
It's the two Loudoun subs here in the second half. Richie Amon and Sean Young in their Loudoun United debuts, who combine to get one back.
They were almost similar goals. You had, fancy feet at both ends of the 18 and really good finishes into that side netting.
Pittsburgh did not win a game in their championship season when conceding 2 or more goals. They were 0-7-2. Today they've got a 3-2 lead. So they can do something today. 2 things. Come from behind and earn 3 points, and win a game when conceding 2 or more. It's a different Pittsburgh Riverhounds team as far as the attack goes in 2026 compared to years prior.
It is different, and it's a lot more exciting, I'll tell you that. Watching them try and create, they're coming from the width, they're going through the middle, they're scoring off set pieces. It's just something we haven't seen from them.
Given away. Shot from distance by All, and Bondry had to make the save. Bondry keeps this at a 1-goal deficit. A heck of a strike from All.
I like this from Charles All. He just finds it, and you know what? He takes a look up. He sees a little bit of a window. He has at it. Bondry makes the save, but this is what we want more of from Charles All. We want him taking those opportunities, those shots. Normally he would pass that off, but it's a good look from him.
He seems like a more aggressive player, which is what Rob Vincent told us he wanted to see in game action this season from him.
Exactly. He does a lot of that dirty work, the fancy feet. He sets people up, and he doesn't always get the credit for that. So I'm excited that he's trying to evolve the game a little bit.
Dequa with a little back heel flip towards goal, never got through. Awua plays it out. Throw in for Pittsburgh. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Barnes. Give it away. Here's Amon. Dynamic on the ball. Second half sub assisted on the second goal. Murphy. Ordonez was fighting there, and a foul given. Goes against Sean Young. Bradley Sample took the brunt of that. Richie Amon assisted on the second Loudoun United goal. The 21-year-old, 8th overall pick by DC United in the 2026 MLS Super Draft, a national champion at Washington last season, top 5 in the country in assists, and what a way to make your professional debut with Loudoun United.
He's good off the dribble. He kind of weaves through defenders, and he's able to kind of fight that traffic, and we saw the assist. That's just a little bit of what he can do, and on this last play, he just drives at the back line, and Loudoun United need a player like that who just good on the dribble, likes to drive at back lines.
Griffin, as Pittsburgh tries to clamp down and regain control and put a stop to this comeback effort by Loudoun United. Jackson Walty, wide for Barnes. Oh, beautiful ball, put out in front, Barnes with a tap in! But the flag was up for offside. Take it off the board. A sigh of relief for Loudoun. Frustration for Pittsburgh. This stays 3-2 in favor of the Riverhounds.
Good play, though, from Pittsburgh. That is just what they want. Charles All's kind of making a little slip ball right here. Beautiful ball. It just beats that back line, and then the tap-in goal. That's exactly the football that they want to play. And
under 15 minutes to play before stoppage time. Pittsburgh scored 3 unanswered after falling behind 1-0. Loudoun got one right back, and now they're within striking distance. Ordonez. Both teams getting ready to make wholesale subs.
Segra substitutions for Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the 78th minute. Now entering the match, number 7, Trevor Ammon. Number 8, Junior Etu.
Trevor Ammon comes in
Robbie Mertz.
for Pittsburgh along with Robbie Mertz, Junior Etu as well. Dikwa, Sample, and Vieira, 2 of the 3 goal scorers, off for Pittsburgh. And then for Loudoun United, in a moment, we'll see Elvis Amo along with Marcos Diaz. Those subs haven't happened quite yet.
And that just speaks to the Pittsburgh depth of this team. I mean, bringing Robbie Mertz off the bench, it's been big for them. A2 is such a experienced wing back, and he's a vet in the league, so it speaks to how far their roster goes this year.
Rob Vincent talked to us about that as Ordonez is whistled for a foul. He may get booked. Ordonez does pick up a yellow. Rob Vincent said, look, we've got 5 guys fighting for 4 spots last year. Now those 5 are 7 or 8, and we've got a lot of difficult decisions to make. I mean, again, you look at the quality of player coming off the bench today for Pittsburgh. Ammon, Mertz, Etu, Walty. I mean, those are quality guys, and I'm assuming at some point those guys will find themselves in the starting 11 at some point this season as the Loudoun United subs come on. Marcos Diaz and Elvis Amo. Amo signed a 25-day contract along with Grant Robinson earlier this week. Amo's second stint with Loudoun. Scored 9 goals across all competitions last year for Indy 11. And Diaz comes in from Revs 2 and MLS Next Pro, the all-time leader in goals and assists for the Next Pro side. Those substitutions are brought to you by Segra as we enter the final 10 minutes before stoppage time in Loudoun's home opener.
Yep.
Walty for Mertz.
A Continental Card's yellow card was issued in the 80th minute to Loudoun United's number 9, Kimi.
Is this on? Ammon steps into it, just put it wide, but it did take a deflection off of Loudoun United, so it will be a corner.
Trevor Ammon is so good on this. He just leaves it off, but instead he just takes it himself. He sees that the defender kind of reached there, and so he figures, I might as well shoot this. He gets a corner out of it.
If you can't beat him, join him. Ammon comes over from FC Tulsa, scored against Loudoun in the preseason win this year off the corner. Olfarsson missed on the header. Diaz for Amo. Robbie Mertz. Hounds lifer. Went down. Walty pressuring Eamon. And he picks up a yellow.
Walty just doesn't get the right footing and has to foul here. It's not a bad foul. I mean, they're in their own half, so probably smart for this moment in the game right now.
Coyote having some trouble. Launches. It's off of Ordonez and out for a Loudoun United throw. Urgency being ratcheted up a bit for the home side as they try and claw their way back after giving up 3 unanswered. They've gotten 1 to make it 3-2. How can they get the equalizer here late? Ordonez created space for himself, throws Sousa to the ground, and that's a foul. Last season, Pittsburgh was 13-0-1 when leading entering the final 10 minutes. See if they can hang on and protect this lead today on the road and earn their first win in their title defense. Amo. Still with it. And he lost it. Now long. out for a goal kick. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Mike Watts and Devin Kerr bring you that. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Richie Amon brings it wide on Barnes. The low cross deflected. Awua sends it across. Over the head of Ulfarsson. He mistimed his jump. Chased down by Adnan. This is Young, who scored the second goal. He delivers in, and then it's cleared away by Pittsburgh. Matthew Corrigan giving out directions. Now finally the throw. New era for Loudoun United. They're trying to get it off on the right foot. Awua absorbs that from Ammon. Adnan. Griffin, 2 versus 2. And Griffin wins that battle and clears.
Pittsburgh making it really hard for Loudoun to go down the middle. They're kind of forcing them out wide and really condensing their defense and kind of just going into a block, salvage these last 5 minutes and try and get away with the win.
Long over the top, towards goal, punched away by Campuzano. Hamill was closing in. It's a great ball over the top from Akinyote.
Great ball, and it kind of just dies and has a little bit of backspin, so Campuzano has a little bit of trouble with that, but he comes out, he's able to make that save, and those are the big time moments where he needs to step up and really make a difference for his team, and he just did that.
Hilal Osumanu is going to come on for the final moments here and replace Guillaume Wachter. That substitution brought to you by Segra. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play, and you can download it now. Robbie Mertz, who scored the game winner in the Eastern Conference Final against Rhode Island. In his 7th season of his 2nd stint with Pittsburgh, became the 3rd 2020 player in Hounds history, approaching 200 career appearances. One of the all-time Hounds.
Pittsburgh Hounds has so much experience on the field, and you see it. You see the way that they carry themselves, the way that they scan their shoulders. They're constantly looking around, constantly aware of the space around them. It's experience right there.
Play like a champion. Mertz, of course, a Pittsburgh native, doing it for his hometown club. Etu, shouldered down.
A smart play by Etu, just kind of buy that foul and waste a little bit more time. We're coming up on stoppage time here, 2 minutes left in regular time, and Etu just makes the right call. He kind of puts his body in front of that just to buy the foul. Now they're able to waste a little bit of time.
Griffin. Has space. Now Walty. Time winding down, Walty. Griffin for Etu. Pittsburgh content to just keep this away from Loudoun.
They are, and then when in doubt, go to the corner, try and waste a little bit of time, but Charles All tries to send that across. But I've been impressed with how Pittsburgh has handled this end of the game. Instead of being frantic and going direct, they said, no, we can settle, we can play on the ball, we can make them chase, and you can tell Loudoun is frustrated with this.
They conceded twice last week to Charleston Battery in the 2-1 loss. They've conceded twice today, but they've scored 3. A new look Pittsburgh team trying to do a couple of things today that they didn't do all of last year and haven't done since 2023.
When you are adding to your game like that, like Pittsburgh trying to add a little bit of possession to their game, you will see those goals.
Here's Ammon with Walty making a run in front. Jackson Walty! Oh, Bondre! Keeps Loudoun United alive for the moment. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Presented by Novak. Yep. Flicked forward, Amo, and Campuzano, like he has been all day, aggressive off his line to get that out of harm's way. Possession comes down to Adnan, plays it towards Ordonez, headed away by Souza. Walty gets rid of it as well. All handed it right back. Kimi Ordonez, shot blocked by Osumanu.
I mean, look how many players are in the box right now from Pittsburgh. They're just condensing, trying to make it difficult for Loudoun to get any type of play into it. Over the top's really their only option right now, and Campuzano's been so strong coming out of the back that hasn't really been working for them either.
Long throw in. Comes down for Diaz. Turns around, but they got a whistle before that for a foul. Marcos Diaz trying to make his name and presence felt in his USL Championship debut with Loudoun United. 2 minutes and the discretion of Matthew Corrigan left in this one. The defending champions trying to spoil the home and season opener for Loudoun United. Played into the corner, Mazzaferro goes to chase it down. Now he lets it roll over the goal line for a goal kick. Sam Bassett's 69th minute goal on the assist from Charles All stands as the difference right now. Etu wins the race. Junior Etu has Mertz and Ammon in the middle, but Etu, veteran move, takes it to the corner. Mazzaferro battles there. Diaz comes over and takes it away. Mertz deflects that, and it allows Idrak to play it. Akanyode steps up. Long ball through the middle. Campuzano again, aggressive, clears it away. Time running out for Loudoun. Kimi Ordonez Finds Young. Time running out. Akanyode. Long to nobody. Scooped up by Campuzano. Ordonez lobbying for a foul. He doesn't get it. Long throw for Mertz. Ammon has Mertz wide, awaiting the final whistle from Matthew Corrigan. He checks his watch, and the final whistle blows. For the first time in 25 matches, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds fall behind early, come back and earn the victory. A 3-2 final away from home spoils the home opener for Loudoun United.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds found multitude of ways to score this game. Not only that, they were on the front foot, high tempo, they controlled the rhythm of the game, they were able to possess a little bit more. And I think Loudoun just came out a little flat in the second half. They started the game strong, but they need to create more chances. They need to have a little more fluidity in their attacking third. They came up short with chances created.
So we have a final, a disappointing one for Loudoun United, and Anthony Limbrick's first game as head coach. The defending champions come on the road, come from behind, and win it. We'll wrap things up after this.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
Back in the game a little bit.
That was just 2 minutes after Bassett scored to make it 3-1. Two substitutions for Loudoun, Richie Amon and Sean Young combined to make it 3-2. Well, after a week that they struggled against Charleston Battery to get anything going in the attack. Pittsburgh will have a completely different team in this one today. They only scored 3 goals one time last season. They've already done it in game number 2 in 2026. They come from behind and win it today on the road at Loudoun, and the defending champs have their first victory in 2026. For our producer, Emma Watson, my broadcast partner, Erica Timbrack, I'm Josh Appel saying so long from Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia. Once again, the final score, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 3, Loudoun United 2. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.